One of the hottest topics in pro wrestling today is John Cena's farewell tour. The man, the one, the only, the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion, the poster boy of the PG era, finally capping off his career and riding into the sunset. Well, before we head into predicting and understanding how his farewell tour could go, there's one thing that needs to be talked about and needs to be highlighted is the fact that for the past 4 years or so, he has been treated absolutely horrible. Like, there is no other way to put this. It's been absolutely dreadful. The past, I don't know, he hasn't won a singles match in 6-7 years now. I think the last time he won a singles one-on-one match was in 2018, I believe, at a Saudi event when he went toe-to-toe with the King of Kings. Honestly, that match might not be one of the best matches of either one of the superstars' careers, but it was a treat to watch. And honestly, what would you expect? Both superstars passed their prime, but at least you got to watch them go head to head in the ring. I mean, what's wrong taking a pill of nostalgia every once in a while? And that's pretty much what it was. I mean, I guess that was the first ever Saudi event that WWE held. Honestly, that first Saudi event had a pretty decent card. However, the first Saudi event was the last John Cena's victory that we ever saw on live television, which is really sad. Ever since, he's just been a part of tag team matches, lame tag team matches, which did not really make sense to me. But just seeing Cena at this point, I guess I speak for everybody, is that it's just fun to watch him. It's just somebody we miss, and every time he shows up on TV, no matter what program he's a part of, it's just fun to watch. Doesn't really need to make sense. But now, considering that it's his final year coming up, I really want it to have some significance, and I think everybody else wants it too. The way everybody's been singing his song, every crowd that he goes to, whether it's on SmackDown, Raw, NXT, PPV, it's just been insane. And just to see that he's finally getting his flowers from the WWE Universe is just really wholesome. Now, there are a number of things that could happen and could take place in his farewell tour. And at the same time, there's a lot of things that could go wrong. I just hope Triple H manages this well, because considering how he's been handling every single PPV, or should I say PLE, that's how they call it these days, I have high hopes in Triple H and the whole creative board and how they're gonna, let this whole story pan out. I think they could even go ahead and overbook him, just like they overbooked WrestleMania 40, the main event. I mean, it was a treat to watch, wasn't it? Everybody was talking about it, was buzzing about it for the next 2-3 weeks. And the fact that we literally saw an Avengers Endgame equivalent in pro wrestling in WWE, and that was just, it was a spectacle to watch, right? And they could just do something similar. They could do something just like that, or even grander, with John Cena. Let's break down some of the hypothetical storylines that I have in mind, okay? And you guys can then go ahead and share in the comments below what you guys think or how you want him to carry out his final run in WWE. So one thing that I feel would actually make a lot of sense and really boost create a whole redemption arc for Cena, right? Because it would just fit the storyline, considering that he has not won a single one-on-one match for the past 6 years. That could really add such a pivotal element to the storyline. Also because he actually cut a promo, I think, in his last return, and when he was mentioning how he has never won a match in so long, I think it was that promo before he fought Solo at Crown Jewel, and that promo was somewhat emotional when he mentioned his retirement, mentioned how he probably doesn't have it anymore. So WWE could just continue that storyline and just build it for him to enter the Royal Rumble, and while his road to Royal Rumble, he could just win the weekly matches on Raw. And I think that's something that he really needs to build his character again. Now, I'm not saying that he's lost his credibility or anything, or that he doesn't deserve to win the Rumble straight up. But at the same time, we need to try to make this look somewhat significant, or people would just forget about it, just like most of the people forgot about Kurt Angle's last run and the fact that he had his final match at WrestleMania against Baron Corbin, right? This is John Cena we're talking about, and as much as he's given to the company, he really deserves one of the best send-offs ever. So for him to win his weekly matches at Raw, starting from the Raw premiere on Netflix, moving on until the end of the month, until Royal Rumble, and then finally winning the Royal Rumble would actually solidify his career, and it would make him one of the two superstars who have won the Royal Rumble thrice in their career, along with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it would just be poetic, wouldn't it? I mean, that guy's entire Instagram feed is just stacked with Stone Cold memes, and it's absolutely hysterical. And I genuinely wonder if Stone Cold has ever seen them before. And I don't think Stone Cold has ever reacted to them. It would just be so hilarious anyways. So that could be one of the storylines, or they could have him lose the Rumble but also make him look strong at the same time, and then he could go on and win the Elimination Chamber match so he can headline WrestleMania. I really want him to headline at least one of the nights of WrestleMania, because come on, it's his last time, guys, come on. Now, one of the most important questions is that if he does headline WrestleMania, which title would he be going for? Or would he really be going for a title at all? Keeping in mind that Gunther and Cody Rhodes are the two world champions right now, I don't think either one of them is going to lose the title earlier than WrestleMania. However, if you ask me which one character has more chances of losing their title, then I would go for Gunther, because he just lost a match to Cody Rhodes, and they're also trying to build up this story about how he's becoming overconfident and egoistic and losing sight of what the reality really is, and that he could actually lose too. He's not invincible and he's not undefeated anymore. So that subtle touch to his character actually, adds so much to the story and allows a lot of doors to be opened. One of them being John Cena becoming the guy who beats him for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. And I think both superstars have absolutely everything in their arsenal that they need to put on a 5-star WrestleMania classic. And let's be real, this just sounds fitting, doesn't it? His final WrestleMania, and he finally breaks Ric Flair's all-time World Heavyweight Championship win record and just becomes the champion for the 17th time. However, this fairy tale textbook end to his WrestleMania highlight reel could just get 10 times better if they add Randy Orton to the mix. If they could just somehow build up a storyline for John Cena to face Randy Orton in his final WrestleMania match. Honestly, if those two go one-on-one with each other, I don't think that the title would even be necessary at that point. I think people would just love to see the two go one-on-one one last time, considering how many incredible matches they've had over the past 15-20 years. This would be the perfect final WrestleMania match. And then they could have him win the world title later on in his career. This could also save CM Punk's moment, which he has been waiting for so long. Looking at the roster that WWE has right now, it's hard to fit Cena in the main event or in the world title mix, at least at WrestleMania. Because WrestleMania is that one night that everybody has been working their whole year for, and they finally get to cash in their hard work, and they hope that it pays off in the form of a main event or in the form of a world title match. And considering Cena's been gone for so long and hasn't been active for a very long time, as much as I love him and I'm a big fan of his, I still don't feel like it would be right for him to be instantly involved in the WrestleMania main event scene, unless WWE could somehow make it make sense which I think would only make sense if he wins the Royal Rumble. One thing that I feel really sure about is that I don't see him beating Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. I don't really have a particular reason why I don't think that is possible. I just feel like seeing Cody's rise and the people that he's been facing and the way that they're trying to get him over and make him the new poster boy for the WWE for the Renaissance era, it just doesn't feel right for him to lose to John Cena, you know? Unless it's a non-title match, it just wouldn't make sense to me. Another one of the ways that they could help him win the World Heavyweight Championship for the 17th time without taking anybody's WrestleMania main event spot is by making him win the Money in the Bank one more time. And this time, instead of being that all-righteous superhero Super Cena announcing his cash in a week before, he could actually show that he learned from his mistake and cashes in after either one of the world champions had a long, brutal match and wins it just like everybody else does. And that could actually play into the storyline if they could have Gunther cost John Cena an important match at any one of the previous PLEs that take place before Money in the Bank. And that PLE could be Backlash, King and Queen of the Ring, or even Clash at the Castle, igniting the feud between Gunther and Cena when Cena goes on to win the Money in the Bank and cashes in on Gunther the same night to get his payback for him interfering in one of his previous matches. Now, knowing that the next PLE after Money in the Bank is one of the big threes of WWE, which is SummerSlam, that would just set up a really huge star-studded match between John Cena and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. Cena could honestly either end up winning or losing. It doesn't really matter. I would prefer him to lose just so Gunther could further elevate his career and just add into his resume that he beat Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship, which can also help Cena deviate his path and move on to becoming the Grand Slam champion. Now, it's really less likely that WWE is going to allow Cena to hold both titles within that 1 year span that he has left, but just like I said, they could overbook him and listen to the fans. I think everybody wants Cena to not only break Ric Flair's 16-time World Championship record, but also finally become the Grand Slam champion by becoming the Intercontinental champion. That one title that he never held in his entire career, which is actually so crazy to think about because there were so many possible feuds that could have happened in the past 20-25 years that WWE just never thought about. I feel like that one random US title run that he had, which ended up being one of the best US title runs that we have ever seen, with him holding a US Open challenge every single week, I think WWE could have taken that chance for Cena to be added to that ladder match at WrestleMania 31. And actually, instead of Daniel Bryan winning the Intercontinental title, it could have been Cena winning the Intercontinental title, finally becoming the Grand Slam champion, and going on to defend that title every single week in an open challenge, just like he did with the US title. But hey, it's not too late, right? He could still do all that, and this time it could just end up being much more epic, considering that the champion now is none other than Bron Breakker. Now, I could imagine seeing one of the best back and forth matches between these two. It could have 3 stages of hell match, it could have ambulance matches, Extreme Rules matches, last man standing matches. It would just be so much fun seeing 2 heavyweights go head to head, just steal the show night in and night out. And it's no secret that John Cena actually does so good with anybody that he's put against, even with heavyweights such as Brock Lesnar and Ryback. The matches he had earlier in his career in 2012 and 2013 with both the superstars were actually worth being in the main events of every single PPV that they were in. But this was all about him being a part of the WWE PLEs and winning the titles, becoming Grand Slam or the 17-time champion and WrestleMania. all about the farewell tour. What I'm actually really curious about is his farewell match, which he said he would have in December 2025. Now, there's a huge list of superstars that are active and on the roster that could be worthy of being Cena's final opponent. We could have Cody Rhodes. He has positioned himself as a major face in WWE, and he embodies a similar spirit of resilience and dedication, and that never give up persona. Of course, the blueprint of which was what John Cena presented for over 2 decades. So a victory over Cena in his final match could solidify him as the true face of WWE. It could be one of the most beautiful passing the torch moments, and honestly, Cena losing to Cody would not tarnish his legacy at all. Now, another opponent that we could have for Cena's final match is Gunther. Now, if WWE is not able to get both of them in the ring anytime throughout the year of 2025, then I guess that final match would really make sense, because Gunther has steadily built himself up as one of the most dominant forces in WWE, and having Cena face him would be like a final David versus Goliath showdown. Like, Gunther's style, power, and reputation makes him an ideal opponent. If WWE wants Cena to go out in a hard-fought loss, symbolizing a passing of the torch to a new dominant figure, I think Gunther would be the right choice. Now, another less likely, wishful thinking, fantasy booking opponent that we could have for Cena is just letting him cap off his career with a trilogy, having his final and third match with none other than the great one, the most electrifying man in all of sports entertainment, John Cena versus The Rock 3. And I think with Rock being a part of the TKO board now, practically being the boss of the entire company, I think if he wants, he could practically make anything happen at this point. And The Rock could lose, giving Cena a poetic final victory over his greatest rival. So what do you guys think about all of these predictions that I made and all of these storylines for John Cena's farewell tour? I would be so interested in knowing what you guys have in mind for his final run. So make sure to drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to turn the notification